Hey guys, what's up? It's been a while, hasn't it? Or has it? How long has it been? I did my package opening on Monday, I think. Um, Today is Saturday, um, July 13th. And I actually have a bunch more things to show you. I've been busy all week. I actually had this week off from work, and I just been kind of relaxing and chilling. But I was also obviously taking that opportunity to go to a bunch of places to see if I could buy things Blu-ray related, and I totally did. So let's get this started. I don't want to take too long because I do have let's see, a lot of things to show. There's a stack next to me here, but let's get this going. But I went to let's 5, 6 different places in the last week. And actually, some of the stuff goes back to last week too, like around time of the 4th. But I just never got around to showing it because I've been busy this week. But anyway, let's get this going. Okay, the first thing I got. Actually, let's see. There's 3 things here. First, I went to Barnes and Noble on Thursday, I think. For those who don't know, the Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion sale started on, I think it was Tuesday this last week, and I stopped in there on Thursday, finally, to look around, and I found myself not really finding a whole lot. Lord of the Flies comes out, I think, on Tuesday, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to buy that. And then The Devil's Backbone, which is the other one, I really wanted, from Guillermo del Toro, comes out, I think, at the 30th of this month, and I think it's actually after the sale. So I was like, well, I'll probably be waiting until November for Barnes & Noble's sale, or I guess whenever Best Buy or Amazon does their sale again, which is kind of random. But anyway, I found a couple things. The first thing, though, is not actually a Criterion. It's like a... During that Criterion sale, they also have 50% on art house movies, which, I mean, I think are just more hard to find movies, and like this one specifically. This is a Sony Pictures Classics, and those were like 50% off too. And I guess that's considered an art house movie, but it's a movie that I wanted to buy actually for a little while since I've kept seeing trailers for it, and it was $24, I think, at Barnes & Noble, so I got it for about $12 with the sale. So anyway, that movie is The Skin I Live In with Antonio Banderas, and this is a Spanish-speaking movie. I thought the premise looked pretty neat. It's about a plastic surgeon who creates this, like, I think it's like a synthetic skin that can withstand all sorts of damage and stuff. I haven't seen it yet, but I read a little bit about it, and it sounded interesting, and the trailers looked interesting. And Antonio Banderas looks menacing like crazy. Yeah, The Skin I Live In. It seemed kind of neat. I haven't seen it yet. Got that for about $12, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it for. The cheapest I've ever seen it on Amazon was like $17 or $18, and that might have been used. Okay, the next one. These next 2, actually, are Criterions. And the first one I got was one that I got on Thursday along with that one. And that is On the Waterfront with Marlon Brando. Spine number, if you can't see it there, 647. I like the artwork on this. I like that it's a digipack too. It's really cool. I'll actually open this up for you. The disc is still in my player. But it's 2 discs. The first disc has the special features and the transfer in widescreen, or anamorphic widescreen, I believe. And this disc actually has it in longer widescreen, 185 by 1 and then full screen, which just because they've portrayed it in that several of those aspects before, and I had no interest in the full screen. I actually did watch it in the 1.85 by 1 aspect ratio, and I kind of like that. Although I didn't notice much of a difference between the regular widescreen and that version, but that was pretty cool. Anyway, because of the booklet too, it's got a couple essays in here about the movie. I did watch it. I'd never seen it before until I watched it the other night. But I really, I have to say, at first I was kind of disappointed, like as it was going on. I thought it was a little bit boring. But by the end of it, I did definitely like it. It's definitely, for 1954, it was a very well done movie. It was very, I think, probably important movie, historically. And Marlon Brando, from the little filmography that I've seen of his, definitely probably his best work. And that scene that everybody's heard before, that I could have been a contender scene where he's talking to his brother in the car, I definitely see now why that's more innovative and more important to the filmography and just acting and how the scene was played out and the subtleness of it. And it was quite good, actually. But yeah, this was $25, I believe, because this is normally $50 as opposed to $40. But yeah, so I checked that out. And this one I got yesterday. I went back because I saw this there on Thursday, but I just didn't feel like buying it at the time for whatever reason. And then I regretted it and went back yesterday, and it was still there. So, and that is Godzilla, or Gojira, or however you want to say it, but it's Godzilla in the States, I guess. And that is spine number 594. Now, I haven't watched this Blu-ray yet, but I've seen the movie numerous times when I was a kid, and although I probably saw the Americanized version, this Blu-ray actually comes with the regular Godzilla movie made in Japan, and it also includes the American reworking of the movie called Godzilla King of the Monsters, which was made a couple years later after it was edited down. I think they edited about 10 minutes from it. I think they took out the love story, they took out a few other things, I forget, but just shortened it, and they actually have an English dub, too, but which I've actually heard is decent, and I don't remember. I'm sure I used to watch the dub when I was a kid, when I was younger, but I do not recall if it's bad or not. But let's just show this one quick, if I can get it out. I don't want to make a mess. Hold on. There you go. I like that image in the front, Godzilla image. This packaging is really cool, by the way, guys. You'll see in a second. If you haven't seen this before, it comes a little pamphlet, or booklet, I guess. It's got one essay in it. I just like the color scheme they have here. Look at that. It's chomping on some train. Poetry After the A-Bomb. J. Oberman. I believe it's just the one essay. Yeah. There's the transfer and stuff. But a pretty cool little booklet. It has one disc here, but then when you open this up here, this is really neat. I forgot about this when I bought it. Look at that. Godzilla. Oh, he's hiding. He's out. He's hiding. He kills you. So cool. But yeah, this was $20 because that was originally $40. But anyway, that's what I got from Barnes & Noble. Our next stop here is, what do we have? Two from Walmart. And I rarely ever go to Walmart, but this week, since I had the time, I figured, what the hell, I will brave those treacherous waters. And I have to say, it's barely ever worth it for me. The first time I went, I didn't find anything. And I went to a different Walmart, too. I went to one further away from me. And I didn't realize this, but not all Walmarts have the 788 bin. In fact, both Walmarts I went to didn't have a bin at all. The first one didn't. The one that was far away did not have any noticeable selection of 788s, as opposed to the ones they just kind of had scattered out in their regular sections, which was small. And the one that's closest to me didn't even have a bin. They had a section though that was 788, and they actually had some $5 thrown in there too. But I found these two that I just wanted to get. And this first one is a movie that I've seen a while ago, and this I haven't seen since then, and that is Disturbia. I remember liking it. It's a take on Hitchcock's Rear Window for, I guess, a newer, younger generation. And so in that respect, it's obviously not as good as the Hitchcock version, but I actually remember enjoying it. You know, it's not a bad little movie. It's came down, obviously, but I enjoyed it. But this next one I've never seen before, and I saw it in the bin, and a lot of people hate this movie, and I like the actors involved, and I figured, what the hell, and for $7.88 I'll give it a shot. It's apparently really bad, but I don't care. I'll buy bad movies. And that is Dream House, with a Blu-ray and DVD. Yeah, it's got nothing but bad reviews. I don't think I read a single review that was good. But I remember seeing a preview for this and thinking it looked good. And then it kind of dropped off the face of the earth, and I never saw it again until it came out on DVD, and people said it sucked, and that was years ago. Anyway, for $7.88, I figured, what the heck. But I haven't watched it yet. Alright, that's it from Walmart. And let's see, these next three are from 3 separate orders, actually. I just ended up getting them late from Amazon. But these are all 3 from Amazon. This first one I just got yesterday, and I ordered it about a week ago because it was $5, and I figured, what the hell? The synopsis looked interesting, and I was surprised Christian Slater still had work. And that is He Was a Quiet Man, which I believe this is from 2007. Yeah, 2007. But it also doesn't look like there's any special features on here. And I realized too that there doesn't say there's anything about subtitles, so it's probably no special features and no subtitles. So I may not even be watching this movie, well, anytime soon. But it sounded interesting, and it stars Christian Slater for whatever reason. The reviews were kind of mixed online, but it's about this like office drone. Christian Slater, what's his name? Bob something, whatever. And he's like picked on or something at work, and then something happens to make him seem like a hero or something. But he's kind of got some issues, like he's kind of crazy, or I forget. But it seemed interesting, and for $5, you know, I like throwing my money away. This next one is a movie that I also haven't seen in a while, but I also do recall really liking. This is 2007 as well? 2008. And that is The Reader, with Kate Winslet, Ralph Fiennes, and whoever that kid is. I suppose it doesn't matter. I don't remember the premise, actually, but I remember liking it. I believe it's something to do with Nazis, and Nazi imprisonment, and obviously all that Holocaust horribleness. But I remember liking it. This was about $7 or $8, if I recall, from Amazon. And yeah, I guess that's not a whole lot to say. It's got special features, which I was surprised. I thought when I looked at it, I didn't, but for some reason I got it in me that I wanted to watch it again, and I bought it, and here it is. So that's it. This next one I have not seen before, but it was, again, I think it was $7 or $8. I forget now, and that is The Coen Brothers: A Serious Man. I actually have a story to tell about this movie. Back in 2007, it would have been, yeah. So is that right? 2007, 2008, yep. That is when this was filmed, in 2007. It was released in late 2007, early 2008, I believe. But in 2007, I was working as a freelancer in a downtown agency of some sort in Minneapolis, and or semi-downtown. And I remember seeing signs that said ASM, and there was sections taken off, and the road was... well, before I get ahead of myself, I worked at a place. The night next door was like a lot, and the people, the producer of this movie, used that lot for a lot of the vehicles that they used in the movie. There was an old 50s looking bus that had the 50s writing on it. There was some Jewish writing on some cars, some old 50s cars. Like I said, a lot of old 1950s vehicles were there. And I remember a couple of times, I remember when I drove into work, I saw a like a lunch line type of thing going on. It was weird. It was people making lunch in the morning, or not lunch, breakfast in the morning, and it was kind of neat. And they were there for probably a couple weeks, and then they were gone. So I never actually saw anything being filmed. I don't think anything was ever filmed there. It was just a storage area. But I thought that was pretty neat. At the time, I didn't know what it was. But I found out later that it was this movie. And then I never went and watched it. I completely forgot about it. Until, you know, later in life. Yeah, that's my story. I haven't watched that movie yet. Okay, let's see. Let's do this next one. I got two pickups from a pawn shop. And if anyone who's been watching my videos knows, I've never really had any luck at pawn shops. I've been to a couple in the past year, I guess, several different pawn shops, numerous times, and they either have nothing at all related to Blu-rays. They usually have giant DVD sections that are just disgusting, and they're usually like $3 or $4, and I feel like that's expensive for fucking used DVDs. Or they don't have anything at all. Anyway, this other place I went to, it's the first time I went to this specific pawn shop, and they actually did have a small-ish Blu-ray section, but I found two little diamonds in the rough there that were fairly cheap. This first one is something that I've never actually seen in a store before. I mean, I've seen it online on Amazon and whatnot, and even at eBay, but I never jumped on it because I didn't know how much I wanted. It's always been about $15 or $10, I guess, but I just figured, what the heck? I saw it there, and I thought, well, I've never actually been able to hold this in my hand before, and it was $7.99, I believe. Or maybe it was $8.99, I forget. It was less than $10. And that is the Riding Trilogy, which is based on the what do you call the Yorkshire Ripper case from the mid-70s that lasted all the way to the early 80s. And I watched this first movie, and it has the new Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield is the main character in it, and it was interesting. I get the feeling that there's quite a few liberties taken in these movies, but who knows? Like I said, it seemed interesting, and I'd always wanted to watch it. I'd gotten very high praise, but yeah, I never found it in a store. I never just felt like paying $15 for it. But buying it for $8 or $9 seemed okay. Like I said, I watched the first one. I liked it. I still got two more to watch. But yeah, I thought that was a good steal. And the next one is definitely a steal. This, like I said, I found it at a pawn shop, and it was $9, I believe. $8.99 as well. And that is Peter Pan, the Diamond Edition from Disney, with the slipcover. And the slipcover, honestly, is in very good condition. There's a little damage at the top there, on the top right there. Really, it's the corners that have a bit of damage. Otherwise, there's no scratches on it. There's no like big blotches on it. It's in pretty good shape. And it came with the what do you call it? The rewards points. And I didn't know if it was going to work or not. But when I got home, I tried them out and I used them, and they worked. So that was pretty cool. So Peter Pan, for about $9. That was pretty cool. This is usually $29, and I think at best it goes on sale for $19. So at best I saved $10 on a movie that I wasn't very keen on buying. I would have probably bought it once it was going to go in the vault, but I would have probably spent $30 on it. So that was the steal of the week. Okay, let's see. We're getting closer to the end here. Actually, let's do. I have a final package from Fry's that finally came after, how long has it been, a month? And let's just go through what happened. What the last 3 movies were, 28 weeks later, which a lot of people didn't like, I feel like. But I enjoyed it. It was not as good as the first one, obviously, because that movie was brilliant. But I still liked this one. It wasn't a bad movie. It was kind of the same movie, I guess. So maybe that's why people didn't like it. But this was also $5. All 3 of these were $5, and I thought that was a good deal for that. This next one is one from my wife, and a movie that I remember not disliking, but Devil Wears Prada, with Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway, and Stanley Tucci, and Emily Blunt, I think. Is that right? Yeah. But yeah, you know, it's not a bad movie. I don't usually go for rom-coms or things like this, but this isn't bad. Good performances for everybody involved. $5 is also the best price I've ever seen for it. And this next one is the one that took so long because everybody wanted it, and it's because it's the biggest 80s cheeseball fest that Stallone has ever been in, and it's amazing. We watched it the other night, and it was just... I wasn't into it as much, but my wife really liked it, and I think she watched it more than I did when she was a kid. And that is obviously over the top with Stallone. Look at the size of his arm. He's going to punch me in the face. It's so big. Holy shit. It's actually, look at that. His hand is as big as his head. I guess there's probably some what do you call that? Foreground, background stuff going on there where it's... I didn't notice the eagle in the background there. That's fucking awesome. Oh my god. There's like no special features on here. I think there's a trailer. Yeah, there's a trailer. And there's that big bull or whatever the hell his name was. Oh my god, it was just... it was great. This is 87, I think. 1987, yep. But it was just amazing. I hadn't seen it in so long. And it was just as great as I remembered. But that was my last and final package from Fry's. So I shouldn't be ordering from them for a while until they do another one of these sales. But that was worth it. And last but not least, I have 4 titles from Blockbuster. For those who don't know, I don't know if they're still doing it, but over the 4th of July weekend, they had a buy one, get one free on a bunch of their more new release titles, I believe. And as well as that, they had a what do you call it? Was it buy 4 for $15 or something like that, or $12 or something like that? I forget now. I think it was buy 4 for $14. And on some newer-ish titles and some nicer titles, and I partook in that because I like quantity sometimes over quality, for whatever reason. But I got 4 titles, and they vary in quality possibly. I've seen 3 of the 4, so let's do the one I haven't seen yet. This one I have not seen, and I got it for about $3.50. That is The Devil's Double, which I've heard good things about. I believe it's about Saddam Hussein's son, and I have no idea if it's historically accurate or anything. I just know that it got some press, and that was a semi-decent movie, but I don't know a whole lot about it besides the fact that it's, I believe, about Saddam Hussein's son. Yeah. And the guy he gets to pretend to be him or something because he obviously has assassination attempts and things like that, so he needs him to act like him and be him or whatever. But it seemed interesting for, you know, $3.50. Not bad. Next one is Bad Teacher. Just a funny like raunchy movie. My wife and I watched this on like HBO or something a while ago. I thought it was funny, so I figured, what the heck, I'd get it. This isn't a Go Hastings case, though, by the way. Just because that's what I had. Next one is kind of a controversial one. A lot of people did not like this movie, and I missed like the first 20 minutes, so I'll probably miss the most interesting part, I guess, but that is The Beaver, which is a weird fucking movie. But honestly, it has an all-star cast. It's got Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, what the hell? I forgot her name. Jennifer Lawrence, damn it, yeah. Which I did not remember her being in it, but, and, the guy from Star Wars, Anton Yelchin. Just losing my mind here today. But anyway, for $3.50, I also figured, what the hell. Looked good. Well, didn't look great or anything, but it's a movie that I wanted to finish, and a movie that I thought was okay. And the last one is a movie that I actually sold on DVD during the upgrade and save at some point, that I always kind of wanted back, and that's Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, which I thought was a good movie a while ago. I watched this back in 2006 or 7. Is that right? Is that how old this is? I can't see the date. 2007 must have been, yeah. About a couple of sons who try to rip off their own parents so they sell the jewels or whatever in their jewelry store, and then the parents could just get the insurance money, and it goes horribly, horribly wrong. And it was really interesting, I thought. But anyway, that's the last one. This video has gone on for way, way longer than I thought, and I should probably stop it there. Quick side note, I watched a couple of these movies. I watched The Howling the other night, and it was great. It's my public service announcement for Scream Factory again. For those of you who haven't seen my video yet, I'm rambling now, so I'm just going to turn this off. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you probably tomorrow, because that's when Upgrade and Save finally starts. So yeah, have a good Saturday, and try to save as much money as possible, because this next 3 or 4 weeks are going to be friggin' crazy, aren't they? Okay, thanks guys. I'll see you later.